that what she's here for?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210 District Court Criminal Docket for October 25th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Is that Mr. Sosa?
We need the interpretation, Your Honor.
Yes, if we'll start that interpreter function, please. And select your appropriate language. Hi, Ms. Garza.
Ya la interpreté.
Ok, gracias.
Good afternoon. Juan Alberto Sosa Olvera. Thank you.
Sí. Ok.
Okay, calling cause number 2020-0D02708, State of Texas versus Juan Alberto Sosa Olvera. May I have announcements, please?
Javier Saucedo, Assistant District Attorney for the state, ready to proceed.
Attorney Alyssa Garcia, on behalf of Mr. Olvera Sosa, we are ready, Your Honor.
Ms. Garza, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at your video and it looks like it's slowing down. I'm wondering if the audio is okay.
Sí.
Yeah. Sure.
Sí, sí la escucho bien.
Okay. And so with that, Mr. Sosa Olvera is appearing remotely from the police center and utilizing the assistance of a court certified interpreter, Ms. Lynette Garza. We are scheduled today for a plea. Mr. Sosa, is that your understanding of what we're doing today? Okay, so in order to get started with your plea, I need to swear you in. Would you raise your right hand, please? Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Sí.
Ms. Garza, can you try that again? Okay. Yeah, we are having a little bit of disconnect. Hopefully it won't get worse. All right, so you can put your hand down. Sir, would you state your name and date of birth for the record?
Juan Alberto Sosa Olvera, 0305-1992.
Sir, as I mentioned, we are scheduled for a plea today. I'm going to go over documents that you reviewed with your attorney, the first of which is marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Those are the plea papers in this case. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Sosa, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit Number 1 with your attorney and signing that document?
Sí.
And did you understand everything contained within that document?
Sí.
Ms. Garcia, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up those rights by entering his plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sosa, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Sí.
And Ms. Garcia, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sosa, have you ever been found incompetent by any court?
No.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
No.
So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you today, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your plea, sir. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Ms. Garcia, were you able to Thank you. Ms. Garcia, were you able to discuss any potential immigration consequences of his plea today?
Yes, Your Honor, I talked to Mr. Sosa about the current immigration status. Since the case is being reduced, it shouldn't affect his immigration, but I also explained to him that that is prone to change at any time.
Mr. Sosa, did you understand and have a full opportunity to discuss those potential immigration consequences of your plea today with Ms. Garcia?
Sí.
Okay, do you need any more time to consult either with Ms. Garcia or any other attorney regarding any immigration consequences?
No.
Okay, so you understand that, we cannot foresee what happens in the immigration world. And so you could be subject to either deportation, an inability to become a citizen, all of the different consequences. It is possible, although you've received advice, I believe, as to what the current status is. With that comment, are you still asking the court to proceed with your plea today?
Sí, sí.
Okay, in this case, I understand you were charged by indictment with 2 felony counts, but as your attorney mentioned, I understand that as to count 2 only, you will be pleading as to count 2 only, and that will also be to a lesser included offense of evading arrest or detention. Sir, to count 2, lesser included, evading arrest or detention, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Are you making your plea freely and voluntarily?
Sí.
I will find you are making your plea freely and voluntarily. Mr. Salcedo, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes or no, as to count 2, had the state proceeded to trial, the state would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about the 21st day of July, 2019, in the county of El Paso and state of Texas, Juan Alberto Sosa Olvera did then and there intentionally flee from Raul Pineda, a person the defendant knew was a peace officer who was attempting to lawfully arrest or detain the defendant. And we would offer State Exhibit number 1, which is a plea agreement, the 3914 disclosures, into evidence.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
So said items will be admitted into evidence. And what is the plea agreement?
The agreement is a reduction to the evading arrest detention, Class A misdemeanor, 364 days confinement in the El Paso County Detention Facility, probated for 24 months, a $2,000 fine with $1,500 probated, 200 hours of community service, a TAP assessment, UABA, curfew, court costs, and all standard terms of probation, dismissing count 1.
Ms. Garcia, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sosa, is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
Okay. Understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your plea. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the 1-page document entitled The Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights. Because this is a plea bargain or negotiated case, you do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Sosa, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification with your attorney and signing that document? Was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. So on your plea of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your plea and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. I will find you guilty of the offense, the misdemeanor offense of evading arrest or detention, and assess your punishment pursuant to the plea agreement at 364 days confinement in the El Paso County Detention Facility that will be suspended for a period of 24 months of community supervision. There will be a $2,000 fine, $1,500 of that is probated, 200 hours of community service. Let me see, TAP evaluation, you're subject to urine and breath analysis, curfew, court costs. There will also be a dismissal forthcoming as to count 1. Is there anything further, Mr. Salcedo or Ms. Garcia?
Not from the state, Your Honor. I will submit the dismissal as soon as we're done today.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Garza. If there's